Seattle Seahawks fans, I don't know about you, but it feels like the foundation of our franchise is shifting right beneath our feet. We finally have clarity on the ownership situation as the race to purchase the Seattle Seahawks has officially narrowed down to the duo of White Grousbeck and Aditya Mittal competing against investor Vinod Khosla. This massive transition could redefine our future and shatter price records across the entire league. And honestly, the more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. My name is Lucas. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city in the comments below, because we are a brand new channel pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers, and every single person who joins this community helps us keep going. Let's get into it. The Seattle Seahawks are officially on the market, marking a massive shift for a franchise that has been under the ownership of Jody Allen since the passing of Paul Allen. As Seattle Seahawks fans, we have watched this organization become a staple of our regional identity, building a legacy of consistent competitiveness and championship aspirations that defined a golden era for this city. Now, the future of the organization is at a major crossroads. According to Ben Horney of Front Office Sports, Jody Allen put the franchise up for sale on February 18th, with initial bids due June 29th. The process has narrowed down to two primary groups: a team led by former Boston Celtics owner White Grousbeck and Aditya Mittal, and a rival bid from 49ers minority investor Vinod Khosla. While high-profile names like Todd Boehly and Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos have exited the race, the financial stakes remain astronomical. Experts project a sale price potentially exceeding $10 billion, which would easily shatter the record $6.05 billion Josh Harris paid for the Commanders in 2023. The truth is, this news has left our entire fan base in a state of uneasy transition, as we wait to see if the new leadership will maintain the culture we hold dear or steer the ship in a radically different direction. At least one former player is reportedly involved with a bidding group, though his identity remains a closely guarded secret. With a sale potentially finalized before the September kickoff, we are left wondering how this seismic change will impact our long-term stability and who exactly will be sitting in the owner's box when we face our next rival. What lingering implications will this record-breaking valuation have on the team's upcoming roster decisions and the front office's ability to operate during such a chaotic transition? This potential sale could reach a staggering valuation of over $10 billion, which would shatter the previous record of $6.05 billion paid for the Commanders in 2023. We have arrived at this crossroads because ownership must eventually address the long-term stewardship of the franchise following the passing of Paul Allen, leading to this formal move on February 18th. While high-profile names like Todd Boehly and Steve Apostolopoulos have exited the bidding, the current focus remains on the group featuring White Grousbeck and Aditya Mittal, going head-to-head with 49ers investor Vinod Khosla. And I cannot stress this enough. The involvement of a mystery former player on one of these sides adds an unpredictable layer of intrigue to the transition. We have never seen a change in ownership of this magnitude in our history, and the sheer capital required suggests we are entering uncharted waters for this organization. Behind the scenes, Mike Macdonald and his staff are undoubtedly maintaining a professional focus on the upcoming season, knowing their mandate is to build a winning culture regardless of who signs the checks. While the front office navigates this uncertainty, they must ignore the external noise surrounding the potential transition of power. It is natural for us as fans to wonder how a new regime might impact our long-term stability, especially when you look at the different ownership philosophies across the league, from the stability of the organization in Kansas City to the recent turnover in Washington. The upcoming weeks will prove crucial as we wait to see if a deal is finalized before kickoff. Every Seahawks supporter understands that while the name at the top of the letterhead might change, the mission for this team to perform under head coach Mike Macdonald remains our singular priority throughout this historic period. This monumental change in ownership represents a pivotal crossroads for our organization, marking the most significant shift in our franchise history since its inception. As we look at the potential for a sale exceeding $10 billion, the atmosphere around the facility is undeniably changing. The bottom line here is that stability at the top is the bedrock of success in the National Football League, and the current uncertainty regarding whether White Grousbeck and Aditya Mittal, or the group led by Vinod Khosla, will take control leaves every fan wondering about our future direction. While the salary cap remains under the established league guidelines, new ownership will inevitably bring a distinct philosophy regarding roster building, contract extensions, and free agency strategies. This could mean a fresh approach to how we manage our depth chart and prioritize long-term investments in our key starters. When we face our division rivals, we need that clear, singular vision from the front office to ensure we are not just competing, but dominating the NFC West. The financial backing of a new owner who is willing to spend aggressively to capture a championship could finally give us the edge we need to secure a playoff spot and make a deep run into January. Every upcoming game carries more weight now, as players and coaches will look for signs of commitment from the incoming leadership group to validate the work they are putting in on the practice field. If the sale is finalized before the regular season kicks off, we can expect a renewed sense of urgency across the entire organization. We have reached a point where the financial weight of this purchase suggests that the new owners are prepared to make a massive splash in the league, fundamentally altering our standing against every other contender in the conference. The potential sale of our Seattle Seahawks represents a massive shift for this organization. From a business standpoint, the upside of new ownership is the infusion of immense capital, potentially clearing the path for top-tier facility upgrades and a more aggressive approach to roster building that could push us over the top. Think about it this way. A buyer paying upward of $10 billion is likely motivated to prioritize immediate success and long-term brand dominance. However, the downside is just as significant. We have enjoyed years of stability and a clear cultural identity, and any transition risks bringing in ownership groups that might prioritize corporate metrics over the unique, gritty chemistry that defines this region. According to Ben Horney of Front Office Sports, the current frontrunners are the Grousbeck Middle Group and the 49ers minority investor Vinod Khosla. While analysts are buzzing about this being the most expensive sale in league history, I find the prospect of an owner with deep ties to San Francisco rivals particularly concerning. The involvement of a former Seahawks player in these bids adds a layer of intrigue that feels like a classic power play. My honest take here is that while the promise of $10 billion sounds impressive for the balance sheet, I am skeptical that the transition will be seamless. We have seen other franchises flounder after changing hands, and the high price tag could lead to increased ticket costs or commercialization that feels alien to our tradition. It is a gamble, plain and simple. While Todd Boehly and Steve Apostolopoulos have exited the race, the remaining options leave me wondering if we are truly trading up or just entering an era of uncertainty. I want to see a steward who understands what this city expects, not just someone focused on the record-setting price tag. As we look toward the future of our franchise, this potential change in ownership signals a massive shift in how the Seahawks will operate over the coming years. According to Ben Horney of Front Office Sports, we are seeing a high-stakes competition between the group of Weichs Grousbeck and Aditya Mittal against 49ers minority investor Vinod Khosla. What makes this even bigger is that the winning bid could reach upwards of $10 billion, easily eclipsing the record $6.05 billion paid for the Commanders. For us as fans, this is a moment to feel a sense of cautious optimism. While change brings uncertainty, a new owner with significant financial backing provides the stability and resources required to compete at the absolute highest level of the NFL. We should view this as a necessary step to keep our team relevant in a rapidly evolving market. The involvement of an anonymous former player in the bidding process adds a fascinating layer of intrigue to these negotiations, as someone who knows the culture of the Seahawks is clearly working to influence the team's next chapter. It represents a rare opportunity to bridge the gap between our storied past and a wealthy future. We have to be mindful that even as the business side of football transforms, our identity as a fan base remains the constant that drives this organization forward. Given the current information regarding these competing financial groups, which of these two potential ownership pairs would you prefer to see take the helm of our franchise? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. We are still pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers, and every one of you helps us get there. Go Hawks! I'll see you in the next one.